I never met my grandfather, but I was very close with my grandmother. She raised me after I lost my parents. She always used to wear a watch that was given to her by my grandfather. That was her most prized possession. It was a rather odd watch with a big dial, and 4 circles of different colors were drawn in the middle. My grandmother used to share stories of my grandfather with me. She told me that he loved to travel and explore, and this watch was from one of his adventures. She further added that at times he had little to no money, but he would still walk for days and survive on whatever he could find just so that he would reach the end and find something extraordinary. Did he ever find anything else?
He did, but he lost all of them. This watch was all that was left, and so he used to keep it very close to him.
I always wanted to be like him. I wanted to travel the world and explore, but I didn't have his discipline. I know I wouldn't survive a day without my essentials. One gloomy day, my grandmother fell really sick and the doctors had given up. On her deathbed, she gave me her watch and asked me to keep it safe. Later that day she passed away. I was in a really dark place at that time. My whole world was crumbling down. I didn't sleep for days. I kept the watch very close to me because it felt like my grandmother was still with me. I was really tired and not eating properly, which made me really weak. Due to this weakness, I fell and broke the watch. I was devastated, but in that moment I saw a little paper in the back of the watch. I took it out. It was some sort of a map. I was confused. It was a map for what? However, this map gave me a purpose. I focused all my energy on this. I started getting better. I felt like my grandmother was trying to tell me something. I didn't want to share this information with anyone, and so I worked day and night to figure it out. I finally got it. It took me a while, but I understood that it was the map of our city. I started following the direction it stated, and it led me to an abandoned house's basement. I saw a door there, but I didn't know what to do with it. I tried opening it, but it was locked. There were 4 hooks on the door. I looked around in confusion and saw multicolored rings scattered. I sat there for a while, trying to understand, when it hit me that I had the clue all along. I looked at the watch and saw the 4 rings in the dial. I took out the 4 colors out of all the rings and arranged them on the hooks the same way they were drawn on the dial. The door started vibrating and then it opened. I went in and was at loss of words. It was the most incredible thing I had ever seen. The room was filled with various antiques, furniture, books and utensils. I knew it would all be worth a lot, but just to be sure I took one of the lamps in the market and asked for its price. The buyer was astonished on seeing such a marvelous piece and offered me a hefty amount. I refused to sell it because I didn't want the money. I wanted to keep my grandparents' memory alive. Also, I wanted for everyone to be able to look at it and admire it. I was very smart about the whole process. I didn't tell anyone about it. I purchased the abandoned house first, renovated it and turned it into a private museum. However, this was not enough for me. I wanted to keep my grandfather's legacy alive, and so I started to travel and look for different collectibles. I know that my grandparents would be very proud of what I have done and of what I have become.